Good
I'm
morning.
ready whenever, Bob.
It's time for another webcasting adventure, IFPA's 2020 Industry Insights. 2020 is brought to you by the Board of Directors of the Independent Free Papers of America, pursuing their mission to keep IFPA members in front of the innovations in our fast-moving industry. Now, before we go any further, let's make sure everyone can see and hear us. If you can see that red IFPA 2020 logo, please use the GoToWebinar dashboard on your screen. Give me a hand raise. This is how we ensure against operator error, namely me. Now, someone asked me last time where the hand raise button was, and I had to admit I didn't know. I just assumed there was one. So yesterday, I sat in on someone else's webinar, and now I know to tell you to look at that box on the upper right hand of your screen. And on the upper left of that little box, there's a little tab with a series of buttons on it. The bottom one has the picture of a hand on it. And someone want to give me a hand raise? We got it. We've got hand raises. We're in good shape. Now, this is going to be a session that generates a lot of questions. That dashboard's going to come in real handy later on when you want to submit a question. So now's a great time to break that out. Now, my name is Bob Munn. I've been looking forward to today's session since Lee Little and I met and began talking about it last fall in New Orleans. But first, I have something to plug. Is there anyone on this call who's interested in winning $500? All you have to do is sell one ad. That seems doable. The details of this contest are spelled out on page 11 of the June 11th issue of TIP, the Independent Publisher magazine, but here they are in a nutshell. All you have to do is open one new CADNet account, find one new CADNet customer, or reactivate any customer who hasn't advertised in the last 6 months. Each time you book an ad from a new or inactive customer, your name goes in the hat to win that aforementioned $500. This is a great way to introduce your customers to the CADNet network of over 160 local community publications just like yours, with an automated circulation of over 11 million. Now, we had Barb and Danielle in here a couple of months ago to outline the keys to CADNet salesmanship. You can find that webinar on YouTube through the IFPA.com website. Or, if you have any questions, you can call Barbara Perry at the number on your screen. If nothing else, it's worth it just to spend a few minutes on the phone with Barb. But this contest will make money for your company through the sale. It will make money for the salesperson through the commission on the sale. It'll make money for your customers when they start talking to 11 million additional people, and it can set you up to win another $500 on top of that. Now, if you get offered a better opportunity today, take it, but let's move on this one too. That $500 winner, by the way, will be drawn in September at the East Coast Free Paper Fall Conference in Washington, D.C. A little more on that later. Because later on I am going to talk a little more about the September conference and all the smart people and new information that are going to be available there. But right now, we have a pretty smart guy right here. I first met Lee Little last year in New Orleans, then had an opportunity to work with him again as one of our Friends of the Industry presenters at the Publisher Summit. Lee, welcome.
Thank you very much, Bob. I'm very happy to be here today.
Yeah, Lee's coming to us today from his offices at Barzy Adventures in Austin, Texas. I have to tell you, there are very few places I go that when I get there, I wouldn't much rather be in Austin. Lee, you guys have more fun down there by accident than most of us do on purpose.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's about to get really hot here. It's only 83 degrees and 10 o'clock in the morning, so before the end of the day, we'll hit 100. And it'll be 100 for the next couple months.
But it's a dry heat, right?
It's just hot.
I mentioned before that Lee won one of our just four Friends of the Industry presenter opportunities at this year's Publisher Summit. The main criteria to get that gig was the presenters had to be able to prove that they could make money for our publishers in the real world. So I'm going to get out of the way here and let him talk about what's really important, and that's making you money. Now, before I turn the controls over to Lee, let me remind you that 2020 is an interactive program. Okay, you drive the content with your questions. Use that dashboard on your screen that we went to all that trouble at the beginning to find. Use that dashboard on your screen to type in your questions and comments, and we'll address as many as we can within our time constraints. You're going to have questions, and Lee is here to answer them. If you don't get your question addressed, it's going to be because you were too shy to ask it. So type in your questions, get them to me, and we'll do everything we can to get them answered. Okay, you're looking good here, Lee. How's it going for you?
I'm ready to go and jump right into it whenever you are.
Okay. Lee, a few years ago, I was speaking to a group, and one of the other people in the program was a fellow for whom I had a great deal of respect. Still do, in fact. Anyway, a number of the publishers were concerned that they should be investing in apps for their local markets. And his response, which made sense at the time, was something to effect that just because apps were the sexy new buzzword, that in reality, a very small portion of their local markets really had the devices, smartphones and tablets, to make them worthwhile. Things have really changed in the last couple of years, haven't they?
Absolutely. Between Apple and Google, we're looking at a penetration rate of smartphone in the U.S. economy probably approaching 60 to 65% of all Americans own either an iPhone or an Android. They represent about 95 to 96% of all smartphone markets. And the drive is to provide data solutions to the customers onto these type of devices, and that's only going to continue over time.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, you just fire away, buddy, because there are a lot of people out there that are interested in hearing what you got to say.
So you'd like me to jump into it? I can jump in. My name
Yeah.
is Lee. My name is Lee Little, as Bob has indicated, and thank you very much for the opportunity to present to everybody on the call. I have a software that I am the CEO and the founder of a software development company located in Austin, Texas. We're an 8-year-old software development company, and we've been developing smartphone apps for the last 4+ years. My company has the ability to develop all sorts of smartphone apps. My development team is right here in Austin, and we are continuing to add more and more publishers as our list of clients, producing products for them. Before I jump into the types of products that we develop, let me take a step back and answer some questions that we get asked on a regular basis from other publishers. I had a gentleman who owned 44 newspapers ask me, why in the world do I need a smartphone app when I can go to Google or I can go to Yelp and get all the information I may want in my particular marketplace? That was really interesting that he asked the question. My response to him is, well, before the internet, your source of content came from publishers such as yourself, radio, radio, TV, or the Yellow Pages. And if I wanted to find out about a restaurant, or if I wanted to find out about, what to go see and do this weekend, I have my choices. I can go to the Yellow Pages. I may have heard something on the radio, may have seen an ad on TV, but generally I'm getting my information from trusted sources. Trusted sources like yourself, your publications. Your publications survive because you've worked hard to build an audience for your product. Because you've earned that audience, they look to you to deliver quality content. And because of those quality content, you're able to provide editorial value that products like Google and Yelp simply can't do. With the emergence of smartphones and the rapid growth of smartphones over the last 18 to 24 months, and that marketplace for smartphones is going to continue to grow for the next 18 to 24 months. There's no slowing down. We believe that now is the time to extend your brand into mobile. Let me ask a question, and it'll be nearly impossible to get the answer, but here's something to think about. When you go to bed at night, where does your smartphone reside? Is it right next to your bedside table? If it is, what we're talking about is your brand on your audience's smartphone that they can access first thing in the morning and access throughout the day until when they go to bed at night. We're talking about extending your brand and not to replace your print product, not to replace your website, but to enhance your product into this emerging growth. Why do you want to do that? Well, the demographics of smartphone ownership tend to be better educated. They make more money. So currently, those folks are the ones that your advertisers are wanting to go after. Smartphones and smartphone apps offer a unique way to extend your brand while at the same time of making money. And apps can be profitable. In today's conversation, we're going to discuss different types of providers such as ourselves, and then specifically into our product, the way we can share and make sure that you're making money. And so what I would ask you to do is to look at, for those who don't have an iPhone app or an Android app, is to look at the smartphone app marketplace as just like a new medium. Just like the TV was, the radio was, the internet was, the smartphone is a new medium of which you can deliver content. So with that, let's look at the different types of options. If I can change the page, there you go. How do you get started? You have a variety of different ways that you can get started in developing a smartphone app. The first thing you can do as one option is to hire your own development team. You would need an iPhone developer or two. You would need an Android developer or two. You would need someone to help you develop a CMS or a QA person. These folks are expensive. They require technical knowledge. It takes time to build a team. And generally, it takes actually a lot of management to stay on top of the team to make sure that they're developing what you want. Whether you do that in-house here or in the United States, or try to outsource it to, India or wherever you choose to do, it will take time and it will take longer than you can ever imagine. The big question is would you ever recoup your investment? And the answer is I doubt it. Not unless you're planning to offer these type of products to a lot of other customers. The second thing is to work and get a custom app developed by a custom app development company. Again, this is picking a provider, whether they're local or they're in the United States or offshore or wherever you go. But it's going to take time for them to fully understand what you're looking for and getting something built. What most people don't realize is apps require maintenance. Just like as if you had a printing press, you need to oil it and do regular maintenance to that printing press. You need to do regular maintenance to the app. The mobile marketplace is not mature. There's an iPhone 7 OS coming out. It's a completely rewrite of the current operating system. Before that was the iPhone 5 screen resolution. Facebook changes their API on a regular basis. These things are going on a regular basis. By now, you've probably been approached by other vendors who do a rev share partnering. When you look at a rev share partnering, that provider may be offering you a smartphone app at free or very, very little cost. And what they're doing is either they're selling advertising or asking you to sell advertising, and then they're going to take a big chunk of that revenue. The advantage of it is it's a low-cost entry for you. The disadvantage of that is the app that's being developed is not one that you truly control, and also can be very expensive if you choose to continue that relationship, where you might have been better off if you looked at something that would be like a flat fee structure. My company offers a flat fee structure There's a small package, a medium, a large, and what we call an unlimited package. It's a 12-month contract, which means that you could try the product. If it turns and falls flat on its face, you know exactly what the total cost of this product would be at the end of the year. But generally, these flat fees allow for you to get all the revenue, and while we charge either a monthly or an annual service fee. And so in this solution, your hard work is rewarded in a custom branded app that we can get to marketplace in a quick time frame. My company specifically develops location-aware, multimedia smartphone apps that are native apps for the Apple iPhone and the Google Android. The term native apps might be new to you. What that means is my software developers write to the operating system of the app itself. What that means is the overall experience to the user when compared to a mobile website is vastly superior. Now, mobile apps are going to be distributed through the Apple App Store and the Google Play. These apps could be in any language, so if you wanted to do a Spanish-speaking app or an English-speaking app, you could do so. It could be on a variety of different types of topics, and I'll show you some of the types of apps we've done before. And the nice thing about the apps is there's no production. After the app is produced, there's no production cost to go out and print 10,000, 15,000 copies. There's little, if any, distribution cost, and you can change the content as often as you want. Finally, once the app is on the Apple App Store and the Google Play, your addressable market has just greatly been expanded beyond your immediate neighborhood or region. Your addressable market is now on a worldwide basis. People from all over the world will be downloading your app, learning about the information that you're providing. By the way, you can feel good about mobile apps because it's a completely green solution. Other than the cost of charging up a battery, there's only flying bits going through the internet to deliver. So there's limited paper waste, ink plays, and shipping fees. So my company has a software tool. We call it a platform. And it is a platform that allows for someone to go out and build an app quickly and easily. When I say quickly, from start to finish, we've developed an app in as little as 2 weeks. Generally, most of my customers develop an app usually between 6 and 12 weeks from start to finish. The product is going to be fully branded under your brand name, under your look and feel. Let me look and share with you the types of apps that we've developed. We've done a host of products that I call a destination downtown app. These are apps of what to go see and do in the area, what to go see and do in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, what to go see and do in Austin, Texas. They usually include dining and entertainment guides, visitors guides, and so on and so forth. As I did mention, we've done a host of visitors guides, relocation guides, chamber directories. I should say, as I go through this list, the list that you're seeing right now are apps that we've developed for clients that are making money on smartphone apps. We think that, and I will segue from my PowerPoint, but to make a successful mobile product, you need the following components. Number one, you need a quality software platform in which to build it on. Either you build it yourself or you look at a company like ours and we will develop it for you. Number two is you've got to have great content. Just like you are content providers now in the products that you offer, you need quality content on a smartphone app. Number three is the app needs to generate revenue for you. If it doesn't generate revenue for you, the question is, why bother doing it? And finally, you need to market that app. Just like it's any other product, you need to market and make sure that people are aware of it. I have customers who have developed apps with us who can get 50 to 75,000 downloads a year on their smartphone app. The cost per download on a smartphone app when you're in that type of range gets in the pennies per download. By the way, they're also making generally between 8 and 10, maybe 12 times the cost of my service is what they're generating in revenue. And I'll share with you some of those success stories. But please think about the last two. How do I make money, and how do I market the product with the content that I can provide? We've also, going back to my list, we've done dining and entertainment guides. We've done parent magazines. We've done and just started launching some high school football apps, high school sports apps. We'll be building two of them right now for the fall. We have a best of and a reader's choice platform. If anybody is running any type of popularity contest, we have a popularity tool that's built into the system where you can vote on the best place for a burger, best place for a hair salon, and those things can make a bunch of revenue for you. We've done real estate for sale, apartments for rent type apps. We have the ability to develop an app in any type of language, French, English, Spanish, whatever. We're adding a new product, which is a loyalty app, much like stamping, getting a card that stamps every time you go to your local sandwich shop or coffee shop or yogurt shop. And when you've gotten 5 sandwiches, you get the 6th one free. Or a coffee shop, when you buy 4 coffees, you get the 5th one free. We're building an app platform for that as well. I'm also pleased to say that we're building our very first shopper. This is one that will be heavily focused on coupon and deals and the deals that are around an area. So this is a true shopper. So if any of you who have specifically a shopper type product and want to go mobile, we have a solution that we can help you with. Other things that we've developed are fun things like a wine tour. We're building apps for the Texas Wine and Grape Growers Association to encourage people to come into as many Texas wineries as possible. So we're not just developing apps for publishers such as yourself. We have a wide variety of customers. Some examples of our visitors guides. These are for-profit document apps. Some of them are for-profit, some are not. We've done these destination downtown, where to eat, where to drink, where to shop, what are the events going on around town, what's near me, so on and so forth.
Lee, if I could just break in for a second, I wanted to give you a little bit of a break there. But first of all, I want to remind the folks who are on this call that they can drive the conversation here with their questions. If you have any questions about points that Lee's bringing up, don't hesitate to put it in there, and we'll make sure he gets an opportunity to address it. You know, there's another point here that I know is sensitive to a couple of the folks on this call, in that what you're really going to get to here, and a point is when you have a good strong mobile presence in a community, that gives you the credibility to sell a lot more of the core product, which is print, doesn't it, Lee?
Absolutely. We see, for example, bundling opportunities between print, the website, and the mobile. You want to hit as many of those mediums as possible with a consistent message, because your audience certainly has a need to be in print, want to go online for that content, and increasingly more and more, since they're carrying their phones in their pockets and purses, are going to want that content on a mobile experience.
Sure. Okay. Hey, I'm sorry for breaking in there, but I just wanted to get that done and give you a little bit of a break.
No
Go
problem.
right ahead.
So specifically what my company does is we have developed a software platform. I term it as an electronic printing press. Many of you may or may not own your own printer. You may subcontract out to a local printer. Think of me as an electronic printing press. My company can develop an app for you under your brand name, under your look and feel, within your time frame, with your content, in what is called your developer account, and allow for you to generate revenue through selling of advertising. The end result will be a smartphone app that will be downloaded through the Apple App Store and the Google Play. It will work on an iPhone, an iPad, an iPod Touch, an Android, or an Android tablet. What we do is we do all the smoke and mirrors or the back-end equipment. I'll assign a project manager to you. The project manager will ask you, when do you want this app launched? And from there, we'll build a timeline and work towards that timeline, just as if you were a contractor for building a house or a building. You'll say, I want this to be launched September 1st, and then we'll build it to that timeline. We'll do all the programming. We'll go ahead and handle all of the hosting, the transmission. We'll do the OS upgrades. As I mentioned, Apple's got a whole new OS upgrade coming out, which means, guess what? Android's going to have one as well. And we will add new features and functions over the course of the 12-month contract to make sure that your app is a quality, robust app that's using all the latest bells and whistles in the mobile arena. So part of the quarterly enhancements is something that's part of the product. The end result is going to be an app that's branded under your brand name, under your look and feel. It is going to be in your developer account. Now, what does that mean? A developer account means that it looks like your company absolutely developed it, not like you've gone to a third-party source to put it together. By the way, if you want, you could sell the app or give it away. 99% of my apps are ones in which the customer actually gives it away and they make revenue on selling advertising. So in our system, what's nice about the mobile world is that we utilize the cloud server network, and specifically we use an Amazon cloud server that would allow for you to go in and update and change your content. If you've got a new advertiser and it's 11 o'clock and you want to announce a new advertiser, you can put that in there. If you have a whole new, you want to push out a push notification to it and say that certain has a new feature or function, you can do that. So by going to a content management system, which is a back-end system, you can go in and edit and change the content, update the content in the cloud server automatically, and it will be reflected every time one of your users downloads the app. Now, this app is also a location-aware app. So this is providing information around your community. So if you're doing a real estate guide or an apartment guide or an open house or a garage sale, whatever that is, you're providing information that includes turn-by-turn routing. Let's just say that you're doing happy hours in Des Moines, Iowa, wherever it might be. We're going to answer the first question of, where am I? And where are those happy hours around me? Our system does turn-by-turn routing, allowing you to go from one location to another. We also do something called GPS triggering. When you get within range of that happy hour location, we have invisible radiuses around that you can set, and when I go through there, the phone will physically vibrate, and then the content will automatically appear. That allows for your content to be identified on a map and help people actually see what area of town it is, provide them with turn-by-turn routing to get there. Finally, and I'm going to go back a slide, my system provides real-time analytics. How many downloads you're getting? What did the customers actually look at on the app? How often are they using the app? How much time are they spending on the app? This analytics is 24/7 by 365. We'll show you how to do it. You do not need to go through us to learn how to read your analytics. We'll train you on how to use the system, and then you'll be up and ready to go. So in our system, changing the gears a little bit, in our system, we believe that the look and feel of your app is as important to you as the cover of a magazine or the front cover of your newspaper or publication. So with our system, you have the ability to completely have a custom home screen example. You literally can have full control over the artwork, the navigation, the buttons, and we will show you how to do this. We'll work with you. If you don't have graphic capabilities, we can do it for you at an additional fee, but we literally can control the look and feel of the app. Here's some other examples of these apps, and we've gotten very good reviews for the look and feel of our app and the simplicity of the app in which to use. The system has a series of views. And I'm not going to get into full details of these, but over the next 5-10 slides, I'm just going to share with you some of the features of the software. And if you want to learn more about it, you certainly can reach me. My phone number is area code 512-732-0135 and extension 101. And the company's website is www.bar-z.com. And I'll repeat that later on in the call. But we have a series of views, a list view. So this could be a list of all restaurants in the area that might be dining restaurants for breakfasts. So these would all be breakfast restaurants. They could be listed by alpha, A to Z. They could be listed by proximity. They could be listed those who are around me. And since it's location aware, it's going to show you how far you are away from that particular location. We have the ability, as I mentioned in the very first slide, to support full multimedia capabilities. What does that mean? That means that this system supports video. You can load in high def or standard def video. There's no limit to the length and size of the file. You can put in images. Over a dozen images if you wanted to, so we have an image gallery capability. You have the room to put in 10,000 characters of text in whatever language. All of your contact information if you want to put in there. We support Facebook and Twitter, so if you have an advertiser there, you can load in the Facebook URL or the Twitter hash. So this system will provide rich content information that your customer may want and need. By the way, it is location aware, so it will show you how to map and route someone if you choose to input that in the system. I did mention to you that it has integrated mapping. So that's going to show you if I wanted to have maybe I had a section on best places in the area to go see July 4th fireworks as we're coming up on that major holiday. It would show you where you are and where are the places that are having fireworks around town. It'll do turn-by-turn navigation and the like to get from one location to another. Over here I'm showing you a custom image map that we created for a theme park. This is one in Pennsylvania. We've done a handful of theme parks and they've turned out to be a lot of fun to put together. So this answers the question, where am I and how do I get from one location to another? I also support full events. So if you wanted to put in information about the events that are going on in an area, we can support full event listings. I have the ability to put in a full directory, which could be broken up and use tags to help people sort and sift through those listings that you put into the app. I do support Facebook and Twitter. Almost every one of your advertisers by now has a Facebook page and or a Twitter hash. The Facebook page URL can be built into the listing. The Twitter hash can be built in as well. And probably more important than anything else is we have a share function. The ability to share content on the app with anybody via Facebook, tweet it, or email it, for that matter, to be able to send it out. Many of you may be interested in deals and coupons. We support a robust deals and coupons as part of the app. You can have multiple images in the image gallery, video, text, starting time, ending time of that deal, value of the deal. And these deals are dynamic, just like events, that once the deals are completed, they would be removed automatically from the app. So you don't have to worry about it. If your advertiser said that this deal is only good till June 19th and after that it's removed. We have advertising modules in the app itself. We support banner advertising. We support splash page advertising. We also support something called interstitial ads. If you want, you can go in and put in your own custom ads, or you can load in something from AdMob or DoubleClick for Publishers, the Google product, into our system. These are going to be, we're going to talk a little bit further about this in the app as we go through monetization of apps. We have a fun feature that you may or may not want to use, but it is a digital postcard. If you go back 10, 20 years, and many of us may have bought a postcard and we would pick out a picture and on the back write a little note and put a stamp on it and send it out. You could do the exact same thing. In our system, it allows for you to go ahead and take a photo with the onboard camera and integrate that photo into a custom designed postcard, of which we can have as many as 6 different custom designed postcards, put in text, add a stamp, and send it with your friends to Facebook, tweet it, email it, or save it to your phone. We've gotten a lot of fun reviews on there. We have a bookmark feature. Why would you get interested in a bookmark feature? This is something that users can bookmark locations, articles, events, deals for future reference. This can be used as an itinerary builder as to what to go see and do this weekend and fill in the blank. Maybe I want to go to this restaurant or go see this movie or go to this park. You can do that. These bookmarks would be saved at the individual user's level, and they can access this at any point in time in the app itself. We support push notifications. If you, as the publisher, are interested in sending general information out to anybody who has downloaded your app, we can load in push notifications and announce that to the users out there. I mentioned to you that we did something called GPS triggering. Now, GPS triggering works if you're outdoors and you have the ability to get a GPS fix. That it does the turn-by-turn navigation, and I could be driving down a major highway, and when I come within range of a point of interest like a restaurant or a hotel, the phone physically vibrates and the content would appear. For those who may be interested, we also support an indoor triggering solution, and that is using QR codes to trigger location relevant content, mainly for indoors. So if you have a big museum, if you have a shopping mall, if you have anything that would be under a roof where you wouldn't be getting a GPS fix, we can integrate a QR code for internal triggering. Let's talk about making money. Matter of fact, as a publisher, that should have been maybe the first thing we talked about, but I apologize.
They're all awake now.
Okay, good. I'm glad they are. I see a variety of different ways. I get asked this question. Everybody's like, how the heck do I make money in mobile? Well, here's some things. Many of you already have a print product, whether it's a lifestyle magazine, a visitor's guide, a shopper. The number one and the easiest way to make money in mobile is to bundle it with your existing print product. So I have some folks who do it as a value add. This year, we're now offering you a smartphone app as an inducement to do business with you. But what I would suggest, and I've had other publishers who actually raise their ad rates to more than compensate for the app and generating additional revenue. That's the number one easiest way to do this. Number two is to do a partnership. Now, I have customers who have partnered with a local city, a local chamber of commerce, a local convention and visitors bureau. I have one partnering with a ski resort. And that partner, whether it's a CVB, a chamber, a city, or a ski resort, or whatever it might be, will underwrite the cost of the app. And you make your money by putting the app together and selling enhanced listings. The third way to make money on this is by selling what I call basic and enhanced and premium style listings. So you can have an upsell opportunity on the app, and that equates to more like a basic listing in the back of your magazine to a quarter page, half page, or full page style app. You could sell deals and coupons. You could sell events if you choose to. So there's a host of ways to do that. Here's an example of a sample ad rate card for mobile. They may have a basic listing, which would be the customer's name, their phone number, maybe a brief description, and then you can add different features at different price points and have your sales team upsell them. Let me tell you a story about a daily newspaper that we built an app for. Matter of fact, I'm going to get out and show you some of the apps here. is let me just share with you some real stories about other publishers and how they've gone about making money on smartphone apps. I am looking specifically for an app, and give me just a second, I'm sorry. These are examples of apps that we've developed. This is a newspaper called the Gettysburg Times. It is the 150th anniversary of Abe Lincoln's Gettysburg Address on July 3rd of this year. There we're expecting a lot of people to come to Gettysburg for a pilgrimage to this historical location. The newspaper was skeptical about mobile. They said, I think this would make sense, and they jumped in and we developed them an app, a basic app. As I mentioned, we have a small, medium, and large. They then went out and started selling advertising. When they went out and sold advertising, I'm in the areas under places to stay. This is a hotel listing. This hotel is called the Eisenhower Hotel, located in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. They are paying this publisher $500 a year to be listed in this app, or $50 a month. This particular app has over 120 paid advertisers. So you can do the math of 120 times $500. That's roughly $60,000 worth of revenue on this app. It took them about 6 weeks from start to finish to not only sell the advertising, but to put the app together. And the cost of the app that they're paying from us is $7,500. They're very pleased with the results on this app, to the point that we're building a secondary app for this chain of newspapers, and this one will be in the Lakes region of New Hampshire. So in here we have an image gallery, we have text, we have their location, we have their phone number, we have their Facebook page, and this app realistically is probably going to get somewhere around 30,000 downloads over 12 months. Banner ads are running into this right now. They're using what is called AdMob. This is passive income. They didn't have to do anything to get this AdMob. How much money do they make on this? It depends on how many people are downloading the app. I did mention to you we have this postcard feature. I'll share with you what this is. As I mentioned, that every one of the phones have a camera. So I can take a photo or load an existing photo and then put it into a customized postcard and then share it via Facebook, tweeted, or email. Now, I'll just load in a photo, and now we have a background, of which we have 6 different backgrounds, and I can change the verbiage, I can change the stamp if I wanted to, and then I can send it to my friends via Facebook, tweet, email, or save it to camera roll. So this is how this particular system would work. Why do we put things like this in? Because this is what will hold users' attention. The other things that will hold people's attention is the use of video. Let me share with you a story about an app that we developed for a for-profit operator in a community called Sedona, Arizona. I don't know if you're familiar with Sedona, Arizona, but this is an app that we've now been with for 3 years. It is the #1 app in their market. Now let me stop before I get into the details about this app. I would encourage all of you to grab an iPhone or grab an Android or grab both and go to their appropriate app store. Type in your community. Type in common search terms into the Apple App Store or the Google Play. Look and see what your competition is in your marketplace. I think you would be astounded to find out that in many markets there's zero competition. Now is the time to be first to market with a smartphone app, preferably with a vendor like myself, but if not, you do want to take advantage of a first to move marketplace. I am always surprised when I look at markets across the country to find out that some markets absolutely have zero mobile presence. Others don't. The reason why I bring that up is this customer, Explore Sedona, realized early on that they wanted to have a smartphone app. Nearly 2.5 years ago, we built this app the very first time. And this is what to go see and do in Sedona, a wonderful place. If it's not on your bucket list, you probably want to put it on there. But here they have where to stay, where to eat, spas and health, entertainment, about the area, what to do, where to shop, art, services, real estate, what's near me. So I'm going to just go in and I'm going to look at one of the things here. They have a sales team. The sales team is a one-person who will go out to the marketplace, and then they're selling advertising on these apps to hotels for about $100 a month, which is nearly $1,200 a year. So it becomes pretty substantial. Here's one of the nicer places in town, the Hilton Sedona Resort and Spa. This company has a large library of video, and so they're going to be showing, I'm going to mute their video, a video in as many of these locations as possible. The use of video will extend the amount of eyeballs that people are using when they stare and use this app. The longer people are spending on the app, the more, when it comes back to renewing your advertising with your advertisers, we'll say, look how much time people are spending on the app. And by the way, my analytics will go all the way down to how many people actually have seen this video. So it's pretty cool information. I particularly like this app of what they've done. It's very pretty. So we have a wide breadth. I mentioned to you a best of product. Many of you may have a best of product. This is a brand new product for us. We've got a couple customers. We're building a best of product. This is where you can vote on the iPhone, Android app, as well as a mobile website if you wanted to. You could do the nomination phase, the voting phase, and the result phase for a popularity contest. A couple other things I'm worth sharing with you. This is a daily newspaper. This is owned by a company called the Southern Newspapers, and they are in a college town. Many of you might be in a college town. And they had a business problem. The college students were not reading their newspaper. And they went to the school, in this case, this is Stephen F. Austin in Nacogdoches, Texas. And the school said, if you want students to be aware of what you offer, you need to get an app. So this is an app called Mac 360 for shopping, entertainment, dining, lodging, services. Here's the Stephen F. Austin School. There's the Daily Sentinel, the newspaper. They have a best of component in it as well. And so this customer is in the process of doing the idea of the basic and enhanced listings that I talked to you about. We've had this app up now for about 2 months. They have a 12-month contract. Here's what a basic listing might look like. It's called the Comfort Suites. They have just a stock image, just a basic piece of information, their phone number. This is a non-paying listing. Here is a paying listing, and they've sold this to them. So here's the Hotel Fidonia, and we have multiple images of the hotel. We have a built-in video. We have a description of the hotel, pretty lengthy description of the hotel. So this is an enhanced listing. They're the best hotel in Nacogdoches, best events, so on and so forth. I can call them if I wanted to. I can go to their website if I wanted to, and I have their social media information. And if I wanted to, I could share this with my friends or simply bookmark it if I chose to. So I think I'll just bookmark that. So this is an example of another for-profit type of example of apps that we've developed. I have a host of different products here's an app for This Week in Bermuda, which is a what to go see and do in Bermuda. This is one that's tailored specifically for the tourism marketplace in that market. I have statewide apps. Here's one that gets a tremendous amount of downloads, and this is called Travel North Carolina. As I mentioned, we're doing shoppers and a variety of different products. So anyway, this is what we do as a company. The rates for our products start at $500 a month or $5,000 a year, and they can go up depending upon the level of complexity that you may have on the app itself. And so while we're not only talking about the cost of the service, we would also spend time talking to you about the revenue generation capabilities. And so there's a variety of different apps that we can share with you. Bob, I'm kind of running out of the end of my presentation. Do you have any comments or questions that have come in from the audience?
Yeah, we've got some stuff here, and we still have some time if anybody wants
Bob,
to address that. But okay, let me see
have
because
I
a
lost
couple.
you?
Pardon me. You got me now?
Is Bob there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello.
Hello, Bob.
Yeah.
I bet you I've been on mute for a few minutes, haven't I?
No, you've been good.
Okay.
You've been good. Let me check something here.
I just wanted to
Yeah.
see if anybody had
Yeah. No,
questions.
you've been fine, and I'm not getting any feedback backwards. I don't know what the problem was. I know what the problem was earlier on. Remember, I was telling you most of my veterans are traveling today, and they're the ones that usually have their hands up first. So
Okay.
everybody else just kind of lives up. So we had to train a whole new group of folks to do that. But no, I have some questions here. I can still take a couple more from folks. Although we are getting some feedback. Most of it's just this is really great. I can see even though Doug Fabian wasn't able to make it today, someone else took up the banner of being the wise guy on the call. That's always good. I won't share that with folks. And but one thing that really stood out to me, Lee, was most of us, I think in terms of we have to develop an app for our publications. But what I think you were subtly inferring or implying there was that we can also there's a rich opportunity in the subset of niche apps that exist within your community, and you can position yourself as an agency, if you will, to provide those apps and then provide them through you with your capabilities. That's really an opportunity, isn't it?
Absolutely. And let me give you an example is that digital agency, by partnering with, like, I just had a customer today who went to the local city and said, "We will build an app for you. We'll offer to you the local city." Maybe they underwrote the cost of the app, and then they're selling advertising on the app as a way to generate revenue. I've had others. Let me give you an example of one that has, see if I can find it. They went to a local CVB, Convention and Visitors Bureau, and the CVB right here built an app. The CVB is called Visit Central Florida. Here's the publisher. The CVB underwrote the cost of the app, and so they're selling enhanced listings on the app. They immediately made money on the app, and so the CVB, they're not publishers. They don't understand how to put something like this together, and so they were relieved to have someone like that come along.
Got it. Yeah, because everybody's flummoxed by this. Everybody's looking for elegant solutions, and there's a perfect way to provide that and get the credibility of being the expert in your market. Now we've got I got a couple other questions, but then another one just came in. An interesting approach on this. How does the paper from Nagadocious, the Daily Sentinel, not I think he says not lose hard copy subscriptions when they provide an app, because they can't afford, and the feeling is we can't afford to they can't afford to lose the hard copy readership. Are you running into that objection a lot, Lee?
Yeah, so what is happening is many of the dailies have been putting in paywalls to monetize their website and or a mobile website, so that those who are subscribers to a print product and or just a digital product, the information that they're generally looking for is up-to-date news-related information. There was the local crime report, the local information. That is a news app. What we have been focusing on are specialty type products. those specialized apps like visitors guides, dining guides, real estate guides, shopping guides. We're going to be building a holiday gift shopping guide app here soon. And so those are specialized apps which are unique advertising vehicles. And we're not detracting from the day-to-day news-related apps, which would interfere with upsetting their subscription rates or their revenue stream from that news content.
So really, what you're saying is there's a synergy between the app, what you do with an app and what you do with the core product to deliver a mass audience. That's really the trick, is to find that balance and that synergy. And
Absolutely.
that's where people are wanting. I know we have some folks on this call here who were with me in Chicago a few weeks ago, and that the LMA, the whole focus there is building digital excellence so that you can sell more of the core product. That's the idea, but it is a tricky thing. You don't want to be in the position of giving the whole thing away. It's an ebb and flow sort of thing. There's another question here. They ask, how are you approaching classified? That's got to be a big question that comes up to you a lot. As I understand it, that's kind of a new product for you. But do you see a future where we're able to go back to our predominance in classified because we have a strong presence on the mobile in the mobile area?
I think that our classified has the ability to do very well in things like real estate open houses, garage sales. Those are things that events that are going in the area, special coupon and deals through that process. When it gets to things like job listings and or like cars for sale, it's something that we certainly can do in our app. It hasn't been a key focus for us.
I see. I see. That's but if someone wanted to make that an issue, you probably have some approaches to that you could offer. And again, I think Lee put his number and his website, the web address out there. You might want to do that again right now, while I'm going through these questions. Uh,
My website is www.bar-z.com, and our phone number is area code 512-732-0135, extension 101. And I'd welcome a chance to speak to you.
okay, now there's another question that comes up, and this kind of revolves around a conversation that you and I had privately, but I've got two or three versions of the same thing, and it comes back to an alternative approach to having a local app for your publication. Are these people, or the revenue share type people? And there's one in particular that comes up in these questions, where basically you just trade out some of the advertising space on your app so that they can sell it nationally. And I think there's a question as to where you see that in the scheme of things, as compared to what you folks do.
You know, the rev share folks certainly have a place in their marketplace. I can understand it from your perspective as to why you might consider a rev share program. I mean, obviously, generally there's zero out-of-pockets cost. However, the one thing about those is generally it's not your app. You don't completely control it. You don't control the look and feel of the app. It's not something that you can tie into a branding effort with some kind of custom publication that you could do for yourself. I have customers who buy apps from us, and they also participate in rev share programs with other app developers. I have a chain of newspapers who initially started out with strictly on rev share programs and realized that in the end they would have been better off had they just worked with a fixed price vendor like myself, because they would have made more money to do that. So I would encourage you to look at both sides and look at which one you think is going to generate the most amount of income for you. And honestly, I think that with our system, you have the ability to try our software. If you want to try our software and play around with it and build a demo. We have a demo app on both the desktop platform as well as on the standard platform, and you can try the software. And then if you like it, you can go in and start with a basic package and move into an enhanced package. Let me tell you a story. This is a true story. This is a visitor's guide app that we did for a publisher in Wisconsin. They tried my demo app. They went in and put in 10 to 15 advertisers in the app. Then they went out and test marketed the app. When they heard enough yeses, they came back to their management and said, this thing's going to make money for us. They bought my basic package, and then they started loading it up, selling advertising. As they kept selling more advertising, they just bought capacity from me and then expanded the app. We've been with this customer now for 3 years. They just signed their third contract with us. And when we did that, we completely rebuilt their app completely. And so this is an example of a dining guide type solution here. And there's a restaurant, a paying restaurant to be on the app. So we try to help you crawl, walk, and run in the strategy.
Thank you, Lee. And just I said it a little differently when you and I were discussing this before. Actually, I think those revenue shares are kind of a gateway drug to get to to get to what you really offer there. But now, okay, I've got another question. And all the years I've been doing this is the first time I ever cut away from the presenter before I should have, because I think you were actually demonstrating that app there, and I've already moved back because we're getting close to our time boundary here. But I do have one other question that's come in. In your opinion, what is the market price for an app if you were to sell one, for example, to a restaurant or a local business, so that they can have their own basic custom app? In other words, if I believe the way this is for when I read it the first time, I thought, what should you charge a customer for space on your app? But I think what this individual wants to know is, if you were to build an app for a specific restaurant, for example, what do you think the right price in the marketplace would be?
Let me answer that two ways. First of all, to sell to a restaurant to be on your app of, say, What to Go See and Do, or a dining guide of fill in the blank, we think the rate should run anywhere between $50 to $100 per month, depending on the marketplace. We see that on a regular basis, with a discount if they prepay for 12 months at a time. I'll be honest with you, my products are best for a chain of restaurants, where you may have a chain of 20 or 30 restaurants, and those things. And if you do something like that, we do have a reseller program which will allow for you to go ahead and to buy our product and be a digital agency and help them build their app and make it available. And our prices start at $3,000 a year or $300 a month for something like that.
Okay.
If you're looking at an individual, standalone, freestanding restaurant who decides they might want to have an app, I would tell you that I am probably not the right vendor to look at. That's not something that we really focus on.
Got it. Well, understood. Well, we're getting to the end of our allotted time here, and Lee has given us a lot to think about. I want to thank him for each of you. Lee, this really has been an informative presentation, and I'm sure that's come through in the last hour. In case you missed it, guys people like Lee represent this industry at its best. The innovation, the sharing, the sincere interest in collective success. He's a great guy to know. Don't hesitate to be in touch with him. Again, Lee, thank you very much. In the meantime,
thank you very much, Bob, for putting this together.
Okay. In the meantime, let's take a moment to look at what's coming up on future installments of 2020. Next month, Rick Farrell has just published a new book entitled "Selling Has Nothing to Do with Selling," and as he explained it to me, and I agree with him, a lot of our salespeople are in danger of being real good at a game that isn't being played anymore. His aim is to help newspaper people reposition themselves and prevail in the new marketplace. Rick is that rare sales speaker who apparently has a newspaper background, and we'll be talking with him about that in July. In August, Tim Brennan from Multi-Head Recast will be here to show us how much easier they've tried to make it for us to take advantage of the co-op dollars that manufacturers are begging us to take. Every time Tim and his people innovate, I become more and more convinced that eventually they're going to offer to make the sales calls for us too. So in the interest of pursuing new easy money, be with us in August to hear from Tim. Now, as I've said before, we're going to be looking at some neat opportunities in 2013. And in fact, it looks like we're going to run out of 2013 before we run out of guests. But in the meantime, this is Bob Munn speaking for Lee Little and the entire IFPA Board of Directors saying, the future doesn't begin tomorrow. It's starting right now, this instant, with what you plan to do with the ideas you saw today. There's still plenty of time today to help your customers make some money, and you're just the folks to do it. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for stopping in.
The organizer has ended the session, and this call will be disconnected. Goodbye.